Welcome to another one of my little videos. This is about the flexifoil 4 kite stack which we flew on holiday in May of 2026. As you can see, they're quite tricky to launch, but as soon as they become launched they stabilize. Just like this. You can see they're all over the place now, and as soon as they sort themselves out they can become very stable. They're actually quite easy to fly. Anybody who can fly a two-line kite can fly these. They do pull quite hard, but by modern standards they don't pull that hard, to be absolutely honest. The flexifoil is quite an old design now. It was the first of the power kites, I suppose you could call them. First made in the late 70s, early 80s, and I have seen people flying a 25 kite stack, which must be an absolute nightmare to launch. Two of these kites I bought from eBay. One of them I was given by a good friend of mine, Warren, and the other one of my neighbours gave to me after an advert on Facebook in a little group we're in, Free for the Bourne Valley. This is the first time I've flown all four together, having made a new bridle or harness. I don't know what you'd call it really. They don't have anything in the way of bridles really. There's just two lines connected, one at either end of the kite. But I had to make up this 4 kite bridle consisting of some little metal hoops and 4 lengths or 8 lengths of string, one for either side of the kites. Kite flying is a great hobby, but on this occasion there wasn't really enough wind, and the kites kept stalling, as you'll see in a moment, because the wind was a bit too low for them. And as the wind was dropping, it got harder and harder to stay in the window, as we call it, where the pressure is, where the wind speed is high enough to fly these kites. They did look really splendid in the air, and the sun was catching them nicely. Unfortunately, the sun was in front of the camera. For safety reasons, I made my family stay away from where I might be running to if I lost all the wind pressure, following an earlier incident where my wife fell over. But good fun, hour or so's flying, cut down to this short 4-minute video. As you can see, the wind is getting less and less, and I'm getting a narrower and narrower window, and it was quite obvious that I wasn't going to be able to fly for very long, but I made the best of it. You can see there at this moment there on the video, the kites have lost their shape because the wind has dropped and they become very unstable. On that occasion I managed to catch the wind again and carry on flying. It takes a moment for them to stabilize. It's important with these to keep moving forward as fast as possible, to keep the wind blowing into them. Not only the wind itself, but the movement of the kite inflates the kites and they form an airfoil shape. Great fun to fly. Like I say, they don't require a huge amount of skill. Anybody who can fly any two-line kite can fly these. Launching them is tricky. There we go, look, stalling again. I think this was pretty much the last stall we had before we came down. They're tricky to launch, especially if you're on your own. Almost impossible. I usually put a stick in the ground or a piece of spare carbon fibre to support the kite and get some wind into them. I have to work out a way to keep them tighter because they keep coming apart in the air. The spars in the wing come apart. There we go, that was the last stall of the day, and put the kite on the ground. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening, morning, afternoon, whatever it is.